Hi everyone, LJ Gnaga here with LJ Realties, and this week's topic is the inspection report. So what is an inspection report? When we have an accepted offer on a property, we typically go and inspect the property to make sure that we know the general condition of the property, okay? It's a visual inspection with a licensed inspector, and he comes in with all sorts of tools to understand what is the current condition of the property. Following that process, we get an inspection report. It can be anywhere from 30 to 100 pages, depending on the inspector, depending on the problems that were revealed at the inspection. How do we read through an inspection report? Now this is super important because it's usually a daunting task. None of us ever like reading a document that's 30 to 100 pages. Most of us actually steer away from doing something like that and get scared and push it off. However, it's imperative that we read it as quickly as possible to really understand what's in there and make decisions based on that. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is we have to always remember that the inspection report is written from the perspective of the inspector based on what he saw that day. So things could change over time. We can't hold them accountable to something that they saw that day that's no longer the fact in a year from now, okay? The second thing I want you to remember is that an inspector is there to do a very important job, and they're always going to put their best foot forward and do everything possible to reveal everything you see. However, when they write the inspection report, they always do it from the perspective of informing as much as possible with any warning sign feasible in order for them to not get sued based on not representing the property to the best of their ability. So inspection reports are always written quite aggressively, if you will, and from the perspective of this could potentially be a problem, and therefore you should do more research or hire a mason, a plumber, electrician, whatever it might be, to do further investigation from what we saw on that day. So you're going to see a lot of stop signs or red lights through an inspection report, and that does not necessarily mean that there's an overwhelming problem with the property. It just means that we have to do further due diligence. Now, it is super important if ever you see please hire a mason or a plumber or an electrician to get those specialists in to verify the problem, to really understand what we have going on. But keep in mind that it's most important to remember, what did the inspector tell you while you were walking through the home with them? When you were actually at the inspection and seeing the property, did he tell you this was a major issue? Or did he say, hey, just bring somebody in, it should be about $100, $200 maybe? And that's assuming they gave you prices. But if he said, hey, don't worry about it, it's very typical for a property of this age or this vintage, if you will, you're gonna be able to handle this no problems. Remember that. Because when the inspector is there walking you through the property, giving you his actual opinion at that time, that's really the kind of off the record, this is what I really believe of the property. It's written or spoken from a very different perspective. So that's why we believe it's super important that you're present during the inspection. When you're there and you're getting all these tidbits of information, you get a lot more, you learn through the process, and you come out of it a lot more knowledgeable, okay? So that's my tidbit on inspection reports. Make sure you read them as soon as you receive them. Make sure you ask your broker questions that you don't understand because it's all new to you. We read inspection reports every single day. And because of that, we're a lot more versed in them than you are. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.